Hello, Commanders. Commander Highlander here. 07s to you. Tonight we are going to do part 2 of the Guardian Weapon Tech, or in Guardian Module Tech. This will cover the Guardian modules. Now, I am currently moved from the other location where we were at last night, which was a weapons blueprint location. This is a module blue location and quite a bit different location than we were last night. This is a little bigger, a lot bigger actually. There's a lot more parts here. There's a lot more sentinels to deal with. But before we go on with this, I'm going to need to add something that I forgot to add to yesterday's tutorial. Is where you go to get your pre-engineered azimuth Guardian weapons, your shard cannons and your plasma cannon and your Gauss guns, depending on which ones you want. You have to go to a certain location that has them, and you need a permit to get into this location. I'm going to show you where it's at here. Guardian map. Listen to me. Galaxy map. Galaxy map.
Opening cartography.
Boy, voice attacks being a real pain this evening. This is our current locations where we're at now. I'll show you that in the system map in a minute, but we're going to go here. We're going to go here and show you where these weapons are. So we're going to fly there real quick. I'm not going to fly there physically. I have it bookmarked. You want to go to this location here, Mbooni. This is an azimuth. This is where the azimuth are from, Mbooni. And the way you get this permit is you go here to LHS 1163, which is right next door. And if I remember correctly, I'll look into the system for you. If I remember correctly, you go right here to this glorious prospect, and you can run missions, or you might even be able to purchase these weapons there now. The pre-engineered, I do not know for sure. I know you used to have a permit to get into Mbooni to get to Prospect Deep, which is where I bought mine from, was Prospector Deep, which is the location in Mbooni. I do believe you go here to the Glorious Prospect, which is a ship, and there you will get your missions to get allied with the Azimuth Biotech. So that's where you need to go to get your pre-engineered weapons, guys. The real powerful shard cannon, the real powerful plasma cannon, the real powerful Gauss gun, depending on which ones you like. Just remember, you need individual parts to buy each individual weapon. They come in 2s and they come in 1s. So we are going to look. We're going to get out of there. System map. System map.
System map.
Voice attack is being complicated. So here we are. We are the 7th planet over. 7A. The way you find that, if you don't know where it's at, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And A would be the first planet. Here you come here and you will see the Guardian structure. We are on 7A. So this is where we're at our current location, which is only one jump from where we were last night. So very, very convenient that you can do module hunting and weapon hunting within the same get-go. Tonight, we are going to go for these module pieces. Here's our module pieces. You go to Anara, go to Data, go to Tech Broker again, same as we did last night, except this time we're going to pick Guardian modules. And what you're after is a total of 6 module blueprints if you want all the modules. Totally up to you. You'll have to decide whether the juice is worth the squeeze for yourself. I recommend the FSD booster. Gives you more booster range. Does take up a slot on your ship. Keep that in mind. Under the optional internals, it will take up a slot. There's a 3 and a 5 model on the FSD booster. You will want the hull reinforcement. The Guardian hull reinforcement are the hull reinforcements that I use in all my AX Guardian ship builds because they are 5% caustic. 5% caustic, guys. It's a big difference. Hybrid power distributor. Totally up to you whether you want it or not. Most power distributors on your ships are personal preference, what you're going to do, whether they're weapons focused, shield focused, or engine focused, whatever. You would engineer them specific to what you're using the ship for. So, totally up to you. There's the module. I don't use this module. I don't use the Guardian module protection too much. I use standard modules because these can be affected by glaives and orifice. If you used to go into a spire against an orifice, they can damage these modules. Now, the hull ones don't get affected by it, but the Guardian, the actual module protection does get affected. So I just use standard module protection on my ships to cut down on needing to protect them. Power plant is great. The power plants come in all the same sizes as the standard power plants. Excuse me. The only difference is the Guardian power plants have a little bit more power than your standard, and sometimes that'll save you if you just need a little bit extra power and you don't feel like engineering something. They're really good for that, to go over that next little step, so you don't need to do a lot of engineering if you don't have to. Engineering is part of the game, but in my personal opinion, if you don't have to engineer it, don't engineer it. And of course, the shield reinforcement I use on my human ships, you can make some really nice shield tanks to hold up against NPCs. I have some really nice human ship builds. If you're interested in them, I can show you what they are. They're not bad. They really hold up really well against the human NPCs. So we got through this. We know what we're going after. Let me get back to the main screen here. Take that off, and let's go run this gauntlet and show you where all these sentinels and all these 6 pylons are, and get us some module blueprints. $75% fuel. See, your hull repairs when you go back into your ship, but your fuel does not. I think it's really strange that your SRV does not take fuel from your ship. I think it's quite silly. So keep in mind, unless you have your carrier out here in any of these far out locations, that you either have to synthesize your fuel along with your bullets, or you have to have, some support where you have to take off the planet and go out and repair stuff and get fuel. You new guys, if you fly here, just keep that in mind. Some of the newer players, you don't have the materials it takes to synthesize the fuel. So right up here is the altar, same as last night. It's going to look just like the one we did yesterday, just a different location. We're going to have some sentinels right off the bat. Power the weapons.
Powering weapons.
Now we got to synthesize some fuel or some weapons right now. Some bullets. Look at that. Right panel. There's a restock, and it takes sulfur and phosphorus. Nothing much, nothing major. You can go standard or premium. Basic ammo is all you need.
Complete.
Now we have a full load of weapons again. And there's them parts, guys. Don't forget to get them parts. Okay, there's our first 2 pylons. Let's go get this sentinel out of the way. We're going to have a lot of sentinels to deal with. A lot of sentinels. Alright, go back into regular mode. And I'm going to go ahead and charge these to save some time on the video here. You don't have to see all the boring stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and charge these. Remember, these are your first 2. You have to raise these up first before any of the other ones will raise up. Alright, there's our first 2, and the timer is running. But don't let the timer trick you. You got plenty of time. You got 8 minutes. See, that timer's a physical 8 minutes. So now we're going to go down right down here, and we're going to activate these other 2. Got one on this side, right in the middle, towards the middle. It's right behind this little hut right here. There's going to be a sentinel right here as soon as we pop up. Make sure you have your control set right, guys. I use a HOTAS. Totally whether you have a HOTAS or not. Some guys like to play the game with keyboard and mouse. I am not that guy. I have always had a HOTAS. I have spare HOTASes just in case I need another HOTAS, because I do not like to play keyboard and mouse with this particular game. Okay, there's 3. Let's go back here and charge this. Get this other one back here. Here in the corner. Now, as you go through here, guys, like I said, that data, that encoded data you need for some of these modules, this is where you get them from. You have to find the modules that are lit up here, these obelisks right here. A section of them will light up, just like we talked about last night. And there's one over there. And you go over here and you scan it. You go next to it, either go in turret mode or pull up close with it until you get a lock option. All right, there's the other obelisk anyway. That's perfect. You see, you lock it and you scan it. And now when it comes to the encoded stuff, you may have to do this over and over and over again until you get the pieces or the encoded data you need. The encoded data is the longest part of getting these parts for the modules. But worth it. I think the juice is worth the squeeze on it. I really do. Plus, you get to see some cool stuff in the game. The Guardian stuff's really cool. I like the Guardian stuff. I always really enjoyed the Guardian stuff. Alright. And remember, the pylons are symmetrical. So, there's a pylon here. If you go straight across, there'll be another pylon on the other side. Right over here on the other side, there'll be another pylon. We're going to need that. There's another sentinel. And we might as well go ahead and pick this relic up while we're here. Always have a button for turret mode, guys. Always have a button for turret mode. In SRV, you use turret mode a lot. A whole lot. So you always want to have something set up for it to go into turret mode. Deploy scoop. Deploy scoop.
Deployed.
Then we should have another. Right in here should be another one. Should be right about in here somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. There it is, I think there. Yeah, it's right here. It already raised up. I didn't even realize it. But it's directly across from the other one. If you look right over there, you'll see it there. Alright, we got one more, and it's right up here. And this one's the one that tricked me for a minute. There's no triangle. There's no triangle here on this one, so it's right in around here. And look how far some of those parts move. There's another relic. We don't need that. Right in here is where this piece is. There it is. See, it's covered in the dirt or the sand. I couldn't find it when I was in my ship. I couldn't find that thing. Couldn't find it at all. now all the pylons are done. Timer's gone. Now we're going to have 4 sentinels to deal with. That's why it's important to learn how to fly or drive in SRV mode or in turret mode. See, now we're not in any rush because we have all our stuff lit up, and we have our that was the last of them. That should be the last of them. Power to systems.
All power to
Let our
systems.
shields charge back up real quick. And then we can go up and get our module. Now, while the shields are charging, don't forget to pick those sentinel parts up. As you drive around through here, guys, you're going to see these towers. You want to go to every one of those towers, just like the other location. Shoot the panels off, and look at how many towers are at this location. There's a tower here. That's 1, 2, 3. There's several of them up through there. And also keep in mind that those parts will disappear eventually. More towers. So this is a really, really good location for getting parts. This is a very good location for getting parts and for obelisk data. So you want to come through here on every one, and once you find out which ones are lit and you memorize them, or you'll know where to go. Now once you find one that stays lit and you have all your other parts, you just have to manually reset your instance over and over and over again. You just stay sitting at the obelisk that lights up. When you see, I hear one lit up, there it is. You would come here and you'd sit in front of this obelisk right here, or you could go to an ancient ruin site, I guess. I've done that before too. Pattern epsilon data. Sometimes you get more than one, but you get 3 per scan. If you find, and once you get something, whatever it is, you'll get 3 pieces or 3 encoded data per scan. So that's all. Everything in this game works on 3s. It's all on 3s. Power to engines.
Power diverted to engines.
Now, I don't recommend you do this, but I always do this. Once you get good with the SRV, you can do it as well. Saves you a lot of drive time, but you got to be careful not to tear up your SRV if you only got one with you. Or you can repair it. You can do the synthesize and repair it. Let's see what it takes to repair it. It's nothing major. Right panel. Right panel. It's like the volume is different. Okay, C4 SRV repair. It takes 2 iron and 1 nickel. That's not bad. Most people can have that. For a refuel, it takes 1 sulfur and 1 phosphorus. Yeah, that's pretty good. But always wait till your fuel gets down there before you do that. Like I said, you got to make the juice worth the squeeze, guys. Make the juice worth the squeeze. Closed panel. So now we are ready. We have our relic in the slot. Everything's charged up. So let's scan this and get our module blueprint. Right panel. You'll go to this, or you actually go there. You go up to cargo. Go here. You can jettison it. Go right into turret mode. And wait for the magic. Sit here and wait till you see the little gray diamond or box. And then lock onto it. And then scan it with the secondary button with your terminal button. Encoded Guardian module blueprint. And now we got more Sentinels to deal with. Power to weapons.
Max weapons.
There's another one right here. I thought maybe not. He's back there behind me. You can always back up, move out of the way too, see? It is a possibility once you always have a reverse button too. And that's it. I think we have got it all other than the parts. Let's do an external camera. External camera.
Change camera.
All right. This is great for taking photos. Always have your external camera, guys. The scenery in this game is amazing. So always have your external camera stuff set up so you can use it. And this is the full layout of the area where we're at. You can actually see the largeness of it. Look, there's still pieces that Sentinel flying. The gravity's really light here. And there's my ship. Stands out like a sore thumb with that paint job. Azure, I think it is. And then just, yeah, over here is your layout. This is your altar. Here on this end where I'm at, there's your two obelisks. And then you go down there and you can see them. If it was a little darker, they'd really stand out. Those obelisks really stand out well in the dark. One on the right, one on the left, two in the back there in the corner. And that is your layout. So if you have any questions or any problems, this is no different what we did. Just make sure you get these parts. Have fun while you're doing it. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. If you need some help, send me a message. I can hook up with you in the game if you'd like, if I get a chance and come out here and help you get it if you need help. But this is some of the coolest stuff. It's eerie out here. It feels strange out here. You're hundreds of light years away from the bubble, away from any kind of support, like I said, unless you have a carrier. But this is some of the coolest, absolute coolest stuff in the game as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't get any cooler, and I wish they would do more with the Guardian stuff. I have to wait and see what they're going to do after the Thargoid War. They're already slowing things down as far as that goes. We only got one Titan left, so I hope this helps everyone with their Guardian tech. Once you have, I will explain to you. We'll leave it on that screen for a minute. We'll switch back to this other screen. Once you have all your parts and pieces that you need for your modules and your standard Guardian weapons, you will go here to Anara. You will go to Data. And you will go to Nearest. And it will have your current location in there. If it doesn't, update it. Get your current location in there. Leave it on Stations. And it's Tech Brokers. Click Tech Brokers. And it will give you a list. The closest ones to you where you can go to, and you'll need a Guardian technological broker to take your parts and your pieces to the Guardian and unlock them. Now, once they're unlocked, you can buy as many of them as you want. As long as it's a Guardian technology broker, you can go there and buy as many hull reinforcements, as many standard shard cannons, many plasma cannons as you want, as many Gauss cannons as you want. You can buy as many of them as you want. You have to choose which size you're going to unlock. There's different sizes. Um, the standard weapons. There's only two sizes of the pre-engineered. There's smalls and mediums, but that's all you need of those. We'll go to this here under Guardian weapons. As you see, the standard ones are they have a fixed medium. They have that's not the modified. Modified would be pre-engineered. Here's a Gauss. Here's your fixed large, which is a 3-slot plasma cannon, guys. That's a 3-slot. That's a large. And this is what you need. Now, something I didn't mention, I should mention, is at the top of every one of these lists, you'll see these red digits, these microwave cooling hoses, and these microwave cooling hoses there, and power transfer buses. Those are purchasable parts to finish out your list. Those are the only purchasable parts on the list. And the way you find those is you go to data, you go to nearest, and then it's data and commodities. And here it get your location. Type in what you're looking for here in this box right here, and it will tell you where to get them. It will actually tell you where to go and fly them and buy them. So that makes that a lot easier to get those parts like that. So data, then back to the broker, and then you'll have to buy HN shock mounts for the FSD booster, reinforced mounting plates, heat sink links, interlinks, and in the game somebody sells them. You just have to look them up under the commodities list in Inara and fly out there and physically purchase them. Now remember, I do believe if you purchase those might be physical cargo. So you might want to have a ship with a little bit of cargo room on them. I think the most room you need is maybe 12. 12 is probably the most you need. I think those are physical cargo, if I remember. It's been so long since I've had to purchase them, I can't tell you for sure, but I do believe those are physical cargo. So keep that in mind. And I would usually fly out when I leave the site here. We can go back to the site now. When I fly out to the site, from the site is usually when I would find them and fly out there to them. To pick them up on my way in because I wanted the weapons and the modules right away. I spent a lot of time out here getting all those parts and pieces to make sure I wouldn't have to come back. So again, that's totally up to you guys how much seat time you want to put in, how many of these pieces and parts and guns and weapons you want. I recommend the pre-engineered shard cannons. Those are my go-to. You guys will have to test them all out maybe here and there or look at some YouTube to see which ones you might prefer. But that's about all I got for tonight's video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message. I do reply to all my messages, and I do get quite a few of them. And I will reply to you and help you as much as possible. So if you have any problems, just send me a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. No problem. So you guys have a nice day, nice evening wherever you're at. Remember to fly safe out there. Be safe. Have fun while you're doing it. And I will see you on the next one.